Hey, welcome to the stream. Hopefully this one doesn't crash like all the others. Good to have you here, Crystal. Hopefully they join too, but if they don't, it's okay. Alright. Alright. Hopefully this music isn't too obnoxious to read over. Let's make sure it's relatively quiet. Okay, there we go. That's probably a lot better. Oh man. That sucks. I genuinely didn't mean to offend anybody with that. I don't know. Oh well. Let's do this. Let's find a good book here. We could just continue with the one that I was reading. Probably not, Crystal. I mean, you already know the answer to that, to be honest. I wouldn't mind, you know. I love that kind of positive support, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But I guess we'll just go ahead and start to that. Oh no, you guys are okay. You don't have to apologize for anything. Y'all didn't do anything wrong. That kind of talk was totally appropriate for what I was reading, so I mean, it definitely wasn't like out of character or anything. And we all have these sides to ourselves, I guess, but you know, like she said, I guess not everyone wants to see them, which is fair enough. So, oh well. Oh yeah, you're fine, Nikki. No worries. Again, sorry for making you uncomfortable there, if I did. To be honest, I made myself uncomfortable, so we kind of both had that going for us. So I'm going to go ahead and move on and start reading a really small book called As a Man Thinketh. I still can't remember what year it's from. I can look it up real quick. Might as well, right? Yeah. That's fair. Well, hopefully you know that's like very, very out of place on this channel. Um, Anyone here can tell you. I know Crystal can tell you. She's been here a long time. That's very, very uncommon for me. Let's see. You probably tell I was pretty bad at reading it too. Let's see. As a man thinketh. Yeah, it was originally published in 1903, and it's considered to be a self-help book. So, oh yeah, I know what you mean, Crystal, and you're absolutely right. Thing is, I just kind of had a lapse of judgment there. I figured I'd try it just for laughs, but turns out it wasn't as funny as I thought it would be, and not only was I uncomfortable, but I made some of you guys uncomfortable, so, you know, my bad. I'll try not to do it again. Alright, so now that we know when the book was published, you can kind of get an idea of, you know, how things were at that time, I guess. Alright, so chapter 1, Thought and Character. The aphorism, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but is so comprehensive as to reach out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. As the plant springs from, and could not be without, the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought, and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated, as to those which are deliberately executed. Act is the blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry. Hello, Lady Serana. I may have mispronounced that. I'm sorry if I did. Thought in the mind hath made us. What we are by thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain come on him, as comes the wheel the ox behind. If one endure in purity of thought, joy follows him, as his own shadow sure. Man is a growth by law, not a creation by artifice, and cause and effect is as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort and right thinking, the effect of long-cherished association with godlike thoughts. An ignoble and bestial character by the same process is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself, and the armory of thoughts he forges, the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. Oh, I appreciate that, Lady Serana. Serana. However you say it. Thank you. Apparently we have 2 or 3 people here that think that, so I appreciate the compliments, guys. I like y'all too. Alright. So let's see. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul which have been restored and brought to light in this age, none is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. Man is always the master, even in his weakest and most abandoned state, but in his weakness and degradation, he is the foolish master who misgoverns his household. When he begins to reflect upon his condition and to search diligently for the law upon which his being is established, he then becomes the wise master, directing his energies with intelligence and fashioning his thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master, and man can only thus become by discovering within himself the laws of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected with his being if he will dig deep into the mine of his soul, and that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny he may unerringly prove, if he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their efforts upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial, everyday occurrence, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself which is understanding, wisdom, power. In this direction, as in no other, is the law absolute, that he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. Why has everybody been saying that to me? Is it really that nice? I just totally mispronounced the word nice, but whatever. Oh snap! You called me you called me Pepsi. So wait, were you on my other stream, or is that like Nikki with a different account, or I'm so confused. Wait, you just said it because you want a Pepsi? Who just comments stuff like that though? Like if I wanted some tea, I wouldn't just be like, tea, come hither. Oh tea, why don't you come into my glass so that I may drink thee? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Even though that doesn't really make sense. Alright, so we are on page 13. This book is actually really short. We'll actually finish it. So now we're on chapter 2, Effective Thought on Circumstances. A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless seeds will fall therein, and will continue to produce their kind. Crystal Pepsi. Nice. Nice joke there. I've had Crystal Pepsi. It's not bad. I don't really drink soda anymore, though. Just as a gardener cultivates his plant, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless and impure thoughts, and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. By pursuing this process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. He also reveals within himself the laws of thought and understands with ever-increasing accuracy how the thought forces and mind elements operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances, and destiny. Oh boy. My comment section is ridiculous. Thought and character are one, and as character can only manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstance, the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to his inner state. This does not mean that a man's circumstances at any given time are an indication of his entire character, but that those circumstances are so intimately connected with some vital thought element within himself that for the time being they're indispensable to his development. Well, thank you. I don't necessarily condone tripping, but thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character have brought him here. And in the arrangement of his life there is no element of chance, but all that is the result of a law which cannot err. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony with their surroundings as of those who are contented with them. As a progressive and evolving being, man is where he is, that he may learn, that he may grow. And as he learns the spiritual lesson which any circumstance contains for him, it passes away and gives place to other circumstances. Man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he is a creative power, and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being, out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, I always thought that it would be cool to do that, to read books on my channel and stuff. And every time I would read something on here, people would be like, I like listening to you read. Which is really, really cool, because I actually really like to read, but that gives me an excuse to do it more often. I actually read to my ex, Ashley, or Ghost, as you guys know her. I I used to read the Witcher books to her, and I also read a few others to her. I read one about feminine psychology to her, which is pretty cool. And we got part of the way through one about masculine psychology. It was pretty cool. I figured that it might be kind of helpful within the relationship to like better understand the psychology of, you know, my partner, or at least general things, you know. Anyway. I don't know what happened in my comment section there, but it says the viewership went down to 1 person. What the heck? There are 3 of you guys, and I don't actually believe that any of you have left. So I'm very confused. Yeah, Crystal, I think that would be fun. Also, where did Nikki go? She was here, and she seemed to be fine with everything again. I guess she left. Yeah, YouTube is always being odd, Crystal. YouTube's ridiculous. Alright. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue here. And if you guys say anything in the chat, I'll do my best to respond. That circumstances grow out of every thought, every man... That circumstances grow out of thought, every man knows who has for any length of time practiced self-control and self-purification. For he will have noticed that the alteration in what the heck? Come on. Alright, hold on. That circumstances grow out of thought, every man knows who has for any length of time practiced self-control and self-purification. For he will have noticed that the alteration in his circumstances has been in exact ratio with his altered mental condition. So true is this that when a man earnestly applies himself to remedy the defects in his character, and make swift and marked progress, he passes rapidly through a succession of vicissitudes. The soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its unchastened desires. And circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the mind, and not take root there, produces its own, blossoming sooner or later into act, and bearing its own fruitage of opportunity and circumstance. Good thoughts bear good fruit, bad thoughts bad fruit. The outer world of circumstance shapes itself to the inner world of thought, and both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors which make for the ultimate good of the individual. As the reaper of his own harvest, man learns both by suffering and bliss. Following the inmost desires, aspirations, thoughts, by which he allows himself to be dominated, pursuing the will-o'-the-wisps of impure imagining, or steadfastly walking the highway of strong and high endeavor. A man at last arrives at their fruition and fulfillment in the outer condition of his life. The laws of growth and adjustment everywhere obtain. A man does not come to the almshouse or the jail by the tyranny of fate or circumstance, but by the pathway of groveling thoughts and base desires. Nor does a pure-minded man fall suddenly into crime by stress of any mere external force. The criminal thought had long been secretly fostered in the heart, and the hour of opportunity revealed its gathered power. Circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist as descending into vice, and its attendant sufferings apart from the vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue and its pure happiness, without the continued cultivation of virtuous aspirations. And man, therefore, as the lord and master of thought, is the maker of himself, the shaper and author of the environment. Hey, I'm perfectly cool with admirers. And hell, you can compliment me all you want. I'll say thank you, you know. I'll let you know you're appreciated. But it does have to be made clear that no one can have me romantically. Except Molly. And actually, with Molly, just for the record, it's spelled Mollie. So. Ooh, don't get yourself in trouble. My girlfriend is a moderator. But no, I am very much dedicated to her. And her alone. Good job correcting yourself, though. That is kind of funny. That you just repeated the same comment, but with the proper spelling. She's not here, though. I have no idea where she is. I genuinely hope that she's okay. It's really been stressing me out. I hope I didn't get her in trouble. Hey, sorry, Lady Serana. Oh snap! We got a potential relationship forming. How will she reply? All thanks to carrots. Alright. You guys are great. Let's see. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Their whims, fancies, and ambitions are thwarted at every step, but their inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, be it foul or clean. The divinity that shapes our ends is in ourselves. It is our very self. Man is manacled only by himself. Thought and action are the jailers of fate. They imprison, being base. They are also the angels of freedom. They liberate, being noble. Not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his thoughts and actions. In the light of this truth, what, then, is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? It means that a man is continually revolting against an effect, without while all the time he is nourishing and preserving its cause in its heart. You guys are such dorks. I love it. Alright. That is kind of an interesting little passage that I just gave. I don't know if you guys really caught on to that, because I know you guys are kind of being silly in the comments here. But that little part right there, talking about when he's talking about fighting against circumstances, and says that generally a man is continually revolting against an effect, but at the same time he's nourishing and preserving the cause. You know, so he's trying to make the change, but not actually changing what's causing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. It's sort of like the, like, you know, when you say you want one thing, but you do another thing, and so you never get the thing that you say that you want. Because you want the ideal, but you don't really want to take the steps it takes to get there, you know what I mean? In the sense that you don't truly want what you believe that you want. It's kind of interesting. Oh, geez, Crystal. I just saw your comment. I did not need to know where to, you know? I mean, to be fair, below the ear is a pretty common spot that works for pretty much anybody. Along with basically the neck area in general. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up. This is not what this stream is about. That was the last stream, okay? Not this one. This is a family-friendly content. We're talking about changing your circumstances for the better. Talking about them positive outcomes. Alright. Okay, this one's actually pretty serious right here. Yeah, it looks like the two ladies are trying to start something up over here. Wait, what do you mean I'm being freaking what? Oh god, you guys are dorks. Alright, anyway. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. The man who does... Guys, I can't stay serious. Okay, ladies around it, you cannot not be referencing me right now when you say Pepsi, because you're actually saying "Hey Pepsi" this time. And Pepsi is the nickname that I used to go by because my account was always named PepsiFan. And I hope you're not talking to me right now because that would have some unusual implications, and I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. I hope you're talking about a can of Pepsi. Let's see. Sorry, let me reread that. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. The man who does not shrink from self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object upon which his heart is set. This is as true of earthly as of heavenly things. Even the man whose sole object is to acquire wealth must be prepared to make great personal sacrifices before he can accomplish his object. And how much more so he who would realize a strong and well-poised life. Here is a man who is wretchedly poor. He is extremely anxious that his surroundings and home comforts should be improved. Yet all the time he shirks his work, and considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the ground of the insufficiency of his wages. Such a man does not understand the simplest rudiments of those principles which are the basis of true prosperity, and is not only totally unfitted to rise out of his wretchedness, but is actually attracting to himself a still deeper wretchedness by dwelling in and acting out indolent, deceptive, and unmanly thoughts. Here is a rich man who is the victim of a painful and persistent disease as the result of gluttony. He is willing to give large sums of money to get rid of it, but he will not sacrifice his gluttonous desires. He wants to gratify his taste for rich and unnatural viands, and have his health as well. Such a man is totally unfit to have health, because he has not yet learned the first principles of a healthy life. Here is an employer of labor who adopts crooked measures to avoid paying the regulation wage, and in the hope of making larger profits reduces the wages of his work people. Such a man is altogether unfitted for prosperity, and when he himself becomes bankrupt, both as regards reputation and riches, he blames circumstances, not knowing that he is the sole author of his condition. I have introduced these three cases merely as illustrative of the truth that man is the causer, though not nearly of his circumstances. Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. Gosh, guys, I'm over here trying to spit some hard facts about life and the human race, what it takes to succeed, and you guys are over here like, look at how gay we're being. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I figured you were a male, dude. Because Reese is typically more of a male name, and Chiefs were typically male. So, there's 2 context clues in your name. So, fair enough. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, we're good. Alright. You guys are funny. Alright. We're gonna continue here. Where is it? We're already like halfway through the book, by the way. Okay. I have introduced these 3 cases merely as illustrative of the truth that man is the causer, though nearly always unconsciously, of his circumstances, and that whilst aiming at a good end, he is continually frustrating its accomplishment by encouraging thoughts and desires which cannot possibly harmonize with that end. Such cases could be multiplied and varied almost indefinitely, but this is not necessary, as the reader can, if he so resolves, trace the action of the laws of thought in his own mind and life, and until this is done, mere external facts cannot serve as a ground of reasoning. Circumstances, however, are so complicated, thought is so deeply rooted, and the conditions of happiness vary so vastly with individuals, that a man's entire soul condition, although it may be known to himself, cannot be judged by another from the external aspect of his life alone. A man may be honest in certain directions, yet suffer privations. A man may be dishonest in certain directions, yet acquire wealth. But the conclusion usually formed that the one man fails because of his particular honesty, and that the other prospers because of his particular dishonesty, as the result of a superficial judgment, which assumes that the dishonest man is almost totally corrupt, and the honest man almost entirely virtuous. In the light of a deeper knowledge and wider experience, such judgment is found to be erroneous. The dishonest man may have some admirable virtues which the other does not possess, and the honest man obnoxious vices which are absent in the other. The honest man reaps the good results of his honest thoughts and acts. He also brings upon himself the sufferings which his vices produce. Blah, 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 blah. Lady Serrano, what on earth are you talking about? Girl, you are talking about some crazy stuff. In the light of a deeper knowledge and wider experience, such judgment is found to be erroneous. The dishonest man may have some admirable virtues which the other does not possess, and the honest man obnoxious vices which are absent in the other. The honest man reaps the good results of his honest thoughts and acts. He also brings upon himself the sufferings which his vices produce. The dishonest man likewise garners his own suffering and happiness. It is pleasing to human vanity to believe that one suffers because of one's virtue, but not until a man has extirpated every sickly, bitter, and impure thought from his mind, and washed every sinful stain from his soul, can he be in a position to know and declare that his feelings are the result of his good, and not of his bad qualities. And on the way to, yet long before he has reached, that supreme perfection, he will have found, working in his mind and life, the great law which is absolutely just, and which cannot therefore give good for evil, evil for good. Possessed of such knowledge, he will then know, looking back upon his past ignorance and blindness, that his life is, and always was, justly ordered, and that all his past experiences, good and bad, were the equitable outworking of his evolving, yet unevolved self. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results. This is but saying that nothing can come from corn but corn, nothing from nettles but nettles. Men understand this law in the natural world and work with it, but few understand it in the mental and moral world, though its operation there is just as simple and undeviating, and they therefore do not cooperate with it. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The sole and supreme use of suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. Suffering ceases for him who is pure. There could be no object in burning gold after the dross has already been removed, and a perfectly pure and enlightened being could not suffer. The circumstances which a man encounters with suffering are the result of his own mental inharmony. The circumstances which a man encounters with blessedness are the result of his own mental harmony. Blessedness, not material possessions, is the measure of right thought. Wretchedness, not lack of material possessions, is the measure of wrong thought. A man may be cursed and rich, he may be blessed and poor. Blessedness and riches are only joined together when riches are rightly and wisely used, and the poor man only descends into wretchedness when he regards his lot as a burden unjustly imposed. Indigence and indulgence are the two extremes of wretchedness. They are both equally unnatural and the result of mental disorder. A man is not rightly conditioned until he is happy, healthy, and prosperous being. And happiness, health, and prosperity are the result of a harmonious adjustment of the inner with the outer, of the man with his surroundings. What on earth are you talking about, guys? I'm trying to read this, serious book over here. You guys are talking about tickling pickles. All kinds of crazy nonsense. Yeah, same, Chief Reese. I'm open-minded, but not in that way. Alright there, Lady Serena. Maybe I do want to know, Crystal. Maybe I do want to. Oh my god. Alright. I'm going back to reading. This is not what this stream was about. Alright. There we go. A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revel, and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. And as he adapts his mind to that regulating factor, he ceases to accuse others as the cause of his condition, and builds himself up in strong and noble thoughts. Ceases to kick against circumstances, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress, and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself. Law, not confusion, is the dominating principle in the universe. Justice, not injustice, is the soul and substance of life, and righteousness, not corruption, is the molding and moving force in the spiritual government of the world. This being so, man has but to right himself, to find that the universe is right, and during the process of putting himself right, he will find that as he alters his thoughts towards things and other people, things and other people will alter toward him. The proof of this truth is in every person, and it therefore admits of easy investigation by systematic introspection and self-analysis. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will effect in the material conditions of his life. Men imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. Impure thoughts of every kind crystallize into enervating and confusing habits, which solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision crystallize into weak, unmanly, and irresolute habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependence. Lazy thoughts crystallize into habits of uncleanliness and dishonesty, which solidify into circumstances of foulness and beggary. Hateful and condemnatory thoughts crystallize into habits of accusations and violence, which solidify into circumstances of injury and persecution. Selfish thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of self-seeking, which solidify into circumstances more or less distressing. On the other hand, beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindliness, which solidify into genial and sunny circumstances. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into manly habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness, gentle, and forgiving. Gentle and forgiving thoughts crystallize into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and preservative circumstances. Loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. A particular train of thought persisted in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstances. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so indirectly, yet surely, shape his circumstances. Nature helps every man to the gratification of the thoughts which he most encourages, and opportunities are presented which will most speedily bring to the surface both the good and evil thoughts. Let a man cease from his sinful thoughts, and all the world will soften toward him, and will be ready to help him. Let him put away his weakly and sickly thoughts, and lo, opportunities will spring. Let me see. Let me look back at the comments real quick. I see you're talking about the mic that I'm using. Just for anybody that's curious, I'm just using a cheap, like, $20 to $40 mic from, like, Walmart. It's literally, like, the cheapest one I saw. It just looked kind of comfortable, so I was like, cool. Oh, and hi, Adobe. Welcome to the channel. Don't mind their nonsense. Don't let it scare you away. Let's see. You came here from Monster Hunter World? Yeah, sorry man. I'm not actually playing Monster Hunter World right now. I just figured it would have good background music, to be honest. No, you can feel free to get involved in the comments. I just think some of it's kind of silly. We're actually getting pretty close to being done with the book. We're on page 35 out of like 60 something. So we're a little bit over halfway, I think. Effective thought on health and the body. Chapter 3. The body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operations of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the bidding of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. At the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought. Sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. Thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as speedily as a bullet, and they are continually killing thousands of people just as surely, though less rapidly. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. Anxiety quickly demoralizes the whole body, and lays it open to the creature of disease, while impure thoughts, even if not physically indulged, will soon shatter the nervous system. Strong, pure, and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and grace. The body is a delicate and plastic instrument, which responds readily to the thoughts by which it is impressed, and habits of thought will produce their own effects, good or bad, upon it. Men will continue to have impure and poisoned blood so long as they propagate unclean thoughts. Out of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body. Out of a defiled mind proceeds a defiled life and a corrupt body. Thought is the fount of action, life, and manifestations. Make the fountain pure, and all will be pure. Change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. When a man makes his thoughts pure, he no longer desires impure food. Clean thoughts make clean habits. A so-called saint who does not wash his body is not a saint. He who has strengthened and purified his thoughts does not need to consider the malevolent microbe. Okay, what is going on in my comment section? I mean, for one, you have ladies surrounded, like, talking about slicing people's throats. I mean, I appreciate you defending the channel, but it's probably not the best way to do it. And then Crystal talking about how she wants to be taken, like, we don't even know, like, what context you mean that in. And then Chief Reese is just instantly jumping on the train, like, yes, all in on the Crystal action. And I'm just confused. I thought I was reading a self-help book over here. But apparently you guys are helping yourselves to each other. So I'm just gonna keep reading. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Oh yeah. He who has strengthened and purified his thoughts does not need to consider the malevolent microbe. If you would perfect your body, guard your mind. If you would renew your body, beautify your mind. Thoughts of malice, envy, disappointment, despondency rob the body of its health and grace. A sour face does not come by chance, it is made by sour thoughts. Wrinkles that mar are drawn by folly, passion, pride. I know a woman of 96 who has the bright, innocent face of a girl. I know a man well under middle age whose face is drawn into inharmonious contours. The one is the result of a sweet and sunny disposition. The other is the outcome of passion and discontent. Sorry, I'm reading your comments really quick. Oh, I see. I see. See, I'm sorry, I miss some of the context when I'm reading, so everything just seems weird to me. Okay. As you cannot have a sweet and wholesome abode unless you admit the air and sunshine freely into your rooms, so a strong body and a bright, happy, or serene countenance can only result from the free admittance into the mind of thoughts of joy and good will and serenity. On the faces of the aged there are wrinkles made by sympathy, others by strong and pure thought, and others are carved by passion, who cannot distinguish them. With those who have lived righteously, age is calm, peaceful, and softly mellowed like the setting sun. I have recently seen a philosopher on his deathbed. He was not old except in years. He died as sweetly and peacefully as he had lived. There is no physician like cheerful thought for dissipating the ills of the body. There is no comforter to compare with good will for dispersing the shadows of grief and sorrow. To live continually in thoughts of ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy is to be confined in a self-made prison-hole. But to think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to patiently learn to find the good in all, such unselfish thoughts are the very portals of heaven, and to dwell day by day in thoughts of peace toward every creature will bring abounding peace to their possessor. Alright, Chapter 4, Thought and Purpose. Until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment, but the majority of the bark of thought is allowed to drift upon the ocean of life. Aimlessness is a vice, and such drifting must not continue for him who would steer clear of catastrophe and destruction. They who have no central purpose in their life fall an easy prey to petty worries, fears, troubles, and self-pitying, all of which lead just as surely as deliberately planned sins, though by a different route, to failure, unhappiness, and loss, for weakness cannot persist in a power-evolving universe. A man should conceive of a legitimate purpose in his heart, and set out to accomplish it. He should make this purpose the centralizing point of his thoughts. It may take the form of a spiritual ideal, or it may be a worldly object, according to his nature at the time being, but whichever it is, he should steadily focus his thought forces upon the object which he has set before him. He should make this purpose his supreme duty, and should devote himself to its attainment, not allowing his thoughts to wander away into ephemeral fancies, longings, and imaginings. This is the royal road to self-control and true concentration of thought, even if he fails again and again to accomplish his purpose, as he necessarily must until weakness is overcome. The strength of character gained will be the measure of his true success, and this will form a new starting point for future power and triumph. Those who are not prepared for the apprehension of great purpose should fix their thoughts upon the faultless performance of their duty, no matter how insignificant their task may appear. Only in this way can the thoughts be gathered and focused, and resolution and energy be developed, which being done, there is nothing which may not be accomplished. The weakest soul, knowing its own weakness, and believing this truth, that strength can only be developed by effort and practice, will, thus believing, at once begin to exert itself, and adding effort to effort, patience to patience, and strength to strength, will never cease to develop, and will at last grow divinely strong. As the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. To put away aimlessness and weakness, and to begin to think with purpose, is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them, and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. Having conceived of this purpose, A man should mentally mark out a straight pathway to its achievement, looking neither to the right nor to the left. Doubts and fears should be rigorously excluded. They are disintegrating elements which break up the straight line of effort, rendering it crooked, ineffectual, useless. Thoughts of doubt and fear never accomplish anything, and never can. They always lead to failure. Purpose, energy, power to do, and all strong thoughts cease when doubt and fear creep in. The will to do springs from the knowledge that we can do. Doubt and fear are the great enemies of knowledge, and he who encourages them, who does not slay them, thwarts himself at every step. He who has conquered doubt and fear has conquered failure. His every thought is allied with power, and all difficulties are bravely met and wisely overcome. His purposes are seasonably planted, and they bloom and bring forth fruit which does not fall prematurely to the ground. Thought allied fearlessly to purpose becomes creative force. He who knows this is ready to become something higher and stronger than a mere bundle of wavering thoughts and fluctuating sensations. He who does this has become the conscious and intelligent wielder of his mental powers. Alright, Chapter 5, I mean. This is Chapter 5 out of 7. The thought factor in achievement. All that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thoughts. In a justly ordered universe where loss and equipoise would mean total destruction, individual responsibility must be absolute. Man's weakness and strength, purity and impurity are his own, and not another man's. They are brought about by himself and not by another, and they can only be altered by himself, never by another. His condition is also his own, and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness are evolved from within, and he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. A strong man cannot help a weaker, unless that weaker is willing to be helped, and even then the weak man must become strong of himself. He must by his own efforts develop the strength which he admires in another. None but himself can alter his condition. Same, Crystal, same. It has been useful for men to think and to say, many men are slaves because one is an oppressor. Let us hate the oppressor. Now, however, there is amongst an increasing few a tendency to reverse this judgment and to say, one man is an oppressor because many are slaves. Let us despise the slaves. The truth is that the oppressor and slave are cooperators in ignorance, and while seeming to afflict each other, are in reality afflicting themselves. Oh man, I hope you guys are hearing this. This is like really, really, really true, and really important to hear. That's so funny too, because you guys are talking about all kinds of nonsense while I'm literally reading like some of the most important stuff you'll probably ever hear. Alright, so it says, a perfect knowledge perceives the action of law in the weakness of the oppressed and the misapplied power of the oppressor. A perfect love, seeing the suffering which both states entail, condemns neither. A perfect compassion embraces both oppressor and oppressed. He who has conquered weakness and has put away all selfish thoughts belongs neither to oppressor nor oppressed. He is free. A man can only rise, conquer, and achieve by lifting up his thoughts. He can only remain weak and abject and miserable by refusing to lift up his thoughts. Before a man can achieve anything, even in worldly things, he must lift his thoughts above slavish animal indulgence. He may not, in order to succeed, give up all animality and selfishness by any means, but a portion of it must, at least, be sacrificed. A man whose first thought is bestial indulgence could neither think clearly nor plan methodically. He could not find and develop his latent resources and would fail in any undertaking, not having commenced manfully to control his thoughts. He is not in a position to control affairs and to adopt serious responsibilities. He is not fit to act independently and stand alone. But he is limited only by the thoughts which he chooses. There can be no progress, no achievement, without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices his confused animal thoughts, and fixes his mind on the development of his plans, and the strengthening of his resolution and self-reliance. And the higher he lifts his thoughts, the more manly, upright, and righteous he becomes. The greater will be his success, the more blessed and enduring will be his achievements. The universe does not favor the greedy, the dishonest, the vicious, although on the mere surface it may sometimes appear to do so. It helps the honest, the magnanimous, the virtuous. All the great teachers of the ages have declared this in varying forms, and to prove and know it, a man has but to persist in making himself more and more virtuous by lifting up his thoughts. Sorry, I just needed a break for air there. Some of these sentences are very old-fashioned, and they tend to use larger words that take up more breath per sentence, if that makes sense. Alright. Intellectual achievements are the result of thought consecrated to the search for knowledge, or for the beautiful and true in life and nature. Such achievements may be sometimes connected with vanity and ambition, but they are not the outcome of those characteristics. They are the natural outgrowth of long and arduous effort, and of pure and unselfish thoughts. Spiritual achievements are the consummation of holy aspirations. He who lives constantly in the conception of noble and lofty thoughts, who dwells upon all that is pure and unselfish, will, as surely as the sun reaches its zenith, and the moon its full, become wise and noble in character, and rise into a position of influence and blessedness. Achievement, of whatever kind, is the crown of effort, the diadem of thought. By the aid of self-control, resolution, purity, righteousness, and well-directed thought, a man ascends. By the aid of animality, indolence, impurity, corruption, and confusion of thought, a man descends. A man may rise to high success in the world, and even to lofty altitudes in the spiritual realm, and again descend into weakness and wretchedness by allowing arrogant, selfish, and corrupt thoughts to take possession of him. Victories attained by right thought can only be maintained by watchfulness. Many give way when success is assured, and rapidly fall back onto failure. All achievements, whether in the business, intellectual, or spiritual world, are the result of definitely directed thought, are governed by the same law, and are of the same method. The only difference lies in the object of attainment. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. Alright, chapter 6. We got one more chapter after this, and this one's actually really short, so we're nearly done with the whole book. Oh, that's cool. So chapter 6 is Visions and Ideals. The dreamers are the saviors of the world. As the visible world is sustained by the invisible, so men, through all their trials and sins and sordid vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideals fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the realities which it shall one day see and know. Composer, sculptor, painter, poet, prophet, sage. These are the makers of the afterworld, the architects of heaven. The world is beautiful because they have lived. Without them, laboring humanity would perish. He who cherishes a beautiful vision, a lofty ideal in his heart, will one day realize it. Columbus cherished a vision of another world, and he discovered it. Copernicus fostered the vision of a multiplicity of worlds and a wider universe, and he revealed it. Buddha beheld the vision of a spiritual world of stainless beauty and perfect peace, and he entered into it. Cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts, for out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. To desire is to obtain, to aspire is to achieve. Shall man's basest desires receive the fullest measure of gratification, and his purest aspirations starve for lack of sustenance? Such is not the law. Such a condition of things can never obtain. Ask and receive. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. The greatest achievement was at first, and for a time, a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest vision of the soul a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. Your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not long remain so if you but perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You cannot travel within and stand still without. Here is a young heart pressed by poverty and labor, confined long hours in an unhealthy workshop, unschooled and lacking of all the arts of refinement. But he dreams of better things. He thinks of intelligence, of refinement, of grace and beauty. He conceives of mentally builds up an ideal condition of life. The vision of a wider liberty and a larger scope takes possession of him. Unrest urges him to action, and he utilizes all his spare time and means, small though they are, to the development of his latent powers and resources. Very soon, so altered has his mind become that the workshop can no longer hold him. It has become so out of harmony with his mentality that it falls out of his life as a garment is cast aside, and with the growth of opportunities which fit the scope of his expanding powers, he passes out of it forever. Years later we see this youth as a full-grown man. We find him a master of certain forces of the mind which he wields with world-wide influence and almost unequaled power. In his hands he holds the cords of gigantic responsibilities. He speaks, and lo, lives are changed. Men and women hang upon his words and remold their characters, and sun-like he becomes the fixed and luminous center round which innumerable destinies revolve. Dang it. I switched the word. My bad. He has realized the vision of his youth. He has become one with his ideal. And you, too, youthful reader, will realize the vision, not the idle wish, of your heart, be it base or beautiful, or a mixture of both. For you will always gravitate toward that which you secretly must love. Unto your hands will be placed the exact results of your own thoughts. You will receive that which you earn, no more, no less. Whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain, or rise with your thoughts, your vision, your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. And the beautiful words of Stanton Kirkham Davis, you may be keeping accounts, and presently you shall walk out of the door that for so long has seemed to you the barrier of your ideals, and shall find yourself before an audience, the pen still behind your ear, the ink stains on your fingers, and then and there shall pour out the torrent of your inspiration. You may be driving sheep, and you shall wander to the city, bucolic and open-mouthed, shall wander under the intrepid guidance of the Spirit into the studio of the Master, and after a time he shall say, I have nothing more to teach you. And now you have become the Master who did so recently dream of great things while driving sheep. You shall lay down the saw and the plain to take upon yourself the regeneration of the world. The thoughtless, the ignorant, and the indolent, seeing only the apparent effects of things, and not the things themselves, talk of luck, of fortune, and chance. Seeing a man grow rich, they say, "How lucky he is!" Observing another become intellectual, they exclaim, "How highly favored he is!" And noting the saintly character and wide influence of another, they remark, "How chance aids him at every turn!" They do not see the trials and failures and struggles which these men have voluntarily encountered in order to gain their experience, have no knowledge of the sacrifices they have made, or the undaunted efforts they have put forth, of the faith they have exercised, that they might overcome the apparently insurmountable, and realize the vision of their heart. They do not know the darkness and the heartaches. They only see the light and joy, and call it luck. Do not see the long and arduous journey, but only behold the pleasant goal, and call it good fortune. Do not understand the process, but only perceive the result, and call it chance. In all human affairs there are efforts, and there are results. And the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Chance is not. Gifts, powers, material, intellectual, and spiritual possessions are the fruits of effort. They are thoughts completed, objects accomplished, visions realized. The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart. This you will build your life by. This you will become. Alright. So now we are on the last chapter, called Serenity. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort and self-control. Its present is an indication of ripened experience and of more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as the thought-evolved being, for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as a result of thought. And as he develops a right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve, and remains poised, steadfast, serene. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength, and feel that they can learn of him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity. For people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strongly equable. The strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character which we call serenity is the last lesson of culture. It is the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold, yea, than even fine gold. How insufficient mere money-seeking looks in comparison with the serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth beneath the waves beyond the reach of tempests in the eternal calm. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatsoever conditions ye may live, know this, In the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought, and the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. And that is the end of the book. Oh, I had to stretch after that one. Woo! Yeah, it actually is a really, really, really good book. I actually recommend buying it and rereading it. It's probably super cheap now. But I don't know. I think it's an important book and definitely deserves to be reread. That's, I think, the second time that I've read it. And the funny thing is, it's not so easy to miss stuff in that book as it is to forget things from that book. It's easy to go about your life and fall back into bad habits when trying to make change for the greater good, you know? It's I've always found in my life especially it's much harder to stick to some sort of improvement than it is to start it. And it's not so much necessarily out of like, it's not usually a conscious thing, I don't think. I think it's more of a habitual thing. You know, we all have our routines that we follow and things that we tend to do. And if those are left unchecked, it's sort of, you know, it's hard to make any sort of forward progress. Because it's very, very easy to fall back into these same routines, you know, and live your life exactly the way you were previously. That's why dieting is so hard too. It's because you have these ingrained habits of like, oh, it's this time of day, I'm gonna grab something to eat, or like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go grab a snack, you know, or like, you go somewhere and somebody's like, hey, what'd you like to drink? And almost all the options are soda, and you like, you're trying to tell yourself you can't have soda, but it's the only thing here, I guess I'll have it. Like, that's BS, you know, like everywhere carries water. It's just that our routines and our habits tend to be more convenient and more easily accessible because they're already kind of fit into our life and our style of living, you know. So they become very, very easy to fall back on. There's lots of interesting stuff in there. You guys have probably never heard me talk like this before. But books like those like really get me thinking about stuff like that. You'd be surprised by some of the stuff I've had conversations about. All you guys really get to see of me is me being goofy playing video games, but there is more there. Oh, thanks, Crystal. I don't really know what to do now though, because I think it's probably like, yeah, it's like 4:50 in the morning here. So I have kind of a dilemma that I'm facing. I have to go to work in the morning, and like most of the clothes that I need are clean. But the problem is one of the pairs of pants has a little tiny hole in the bottom. And it's a black pair of pants, right? So I'm like, oh, you know, the hole will probably be fine. But if it expands at all, it's kind of a problem. Especially because the only clean pair of underwear that I have right now is kind of brightly colored. So if that hole expands a little bit, I'm going to have this like weird kind of bright spot that's just like super obvious, and it's going to look really weird, and people are going to know there's a hole. Well, I don't have duct tape, and the thing is, even if I did, that would look even worse. So, I don't know, it's just kind of, I'm kind of scared, right? Because I only have one other pair of pants that I normally wear to work like that, because I have to have like a very specific type. Like, no, I have to wear a specific type of pants. It has to be like normal pants. It can't be joggers. It can't be anything too relaxed. It can't be like business pants. It's got to be like jeans or something similar. And it's got to be black. But I only have two pairs that are like that, and they're both developing holes. They already have holes by the pockets from my knife and my wallet. But now they're starting to have holes in the crotches, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to get to work? I'm not even close to a store, and I can't actually technically drive yet. So I have to go to work and then like walk to the store afterwards, because my job is close to a store. And then I'm going to have to like ask for a ride and take the stuff that I bought back home. And it's just a mess. Either way, I have to work with a hole in my pants tomorrow, which sucks. Which is kind of funny, because we just went from like a very serious book to me talking about a hole in my pants, but whatever. It's nearly 5 in the morning. You can cut me some slack. Yeah, that's true. I'll probably just, I don't know what I'll do. I guess I'm just too thick for my clothes. Please don't take me seriously when I say that. Oh gosh. So there's 3 people watching apparently, but who's the third? Is Serena or Serana still here? Or is it Nikki, or is it Shoes. Or is it someone I haven't seen in a long time, like Italian Mofo? Yeah, probably. See, the thing though, Crystal, is I'm kind of like a weird size. I'm kind of like an in-between size. So it makes pants shopping like really weird and difficult. Same with shopping for shirts and stuff. Like, I'm kind of an in-between size. Like, I think at one point I was wearing like a medium, and then for most of like my young adult life I've been wearing like a large, but I gained a bit of weight at one point because I got off my ADHD medication, and that had appetite suppressant in it, and I didn't think about it. And I'd been on it for like 11 years. So I'd never known anything different, so I just ate like normal but gained more weight. So it was really weird. Anyway, after that, like, I was kind of in between a large and an extra large, so neither one fit me right, if that makes sense. So I just usually opted for the extra large because it would be slightly baggy, but it would fit a little bit better. Like, at least it wouldn't be tight. So yeah, I think I'm like in between waist sizes and in between sizes on shirts. And I have like a very normal size foot, but it's kind of wide at the toes, so it's like kind of annoying to shop for shoes too. I don't know. I'm unique, I guess. As annoying as that may be. You have to do that too, sort of. You have small feet. I can imagine you having small feet. I don't know why, but like from your picture, you look tiny. If that makes sense. Like, I know you're an adult, but you do look kind of tiny. Maybe it's just the way you took your picture. I imagine you're maybe kind of short too. Oh man. Oh wow, you're 5'1". Five. My girlfriend's actually 5'1". Oh, okay. Huh. You wear a size 5? Holy cow. I think mine's like an 11 or an 11 and a half. I think it may be a 12. I don't know. It's in between 11 and a half and 12, I think. Somewhere around there. Actually, I'll just say between 11 and 12 because I'm not sure which one it's closest to. Yeah, that is odd. I just noticed you changed your profile picture, Crystal. I didn't even think about it. I think it used to be your face or something, but now it says free criticism. I just clicked on it to make sure that I wasn't being full of crap, and I just realized you have like 2 videos. What the heck? Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, I mean, I'm probably thinking of your Twitter picture. I follow you and Molly on Twitter. I also follow, was it, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It looks like Christian? Is the one that used to go by, Fisklinger or whatever? One that I used to call Fisk. I actually didn't know that was a girl for like the longest time. That's really weird, by the way. Oh, Nikki, have you been here the whole time? Oh, never mind. You said you fell asleep. Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Nikki. You missed like the whole book though. I literally read the whole book on stream. I was reading the book As a Man Thinketh. It's okay, Nikki. You can always watch it back later if you'd like. I mean, it'll still be here. I'm not gonna delete this one. I am gonna delete the last 2 just because I don't care for them much, but God, I miss Molly. It's driving me crazy, guys. Like, I know she's probably fine, but I'm worried she's in trouble or something. Like, maybe she got her phone taken away. Maybe it was my fault if she did. And it just kinda... Oh. I don't like it. I'm not a happy camper now, you know, 'cause I consider her to be, I consider her to be my partner, you know, and it's just hard not having that. Even if it's just for a little while, it just feels wrong. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up. It's just, Crystal, she's not sleeping for like 3 or 4 days in a row. That would be called a coma. And I really hope she's not in a coma, because that would be awful. Yeah, Nikki, no, she hasn't read any of my messages yet. She's not like, she's not just straight up ignoring me. That's why I say she probably got in trouble and got her phone taken away or something. Or maybe she lost it. Nikki, are you asking me if I have Kik? Because if that's the case, I do not. I do have Snapchat though, and any of you guys can feel free to add me on there. Because I use that like all the time. It's pretty much the only social media app that I use like very frequently. My Snapchat is actually just my name. So here, let me type it in the thing, and you can add me if you like. Hold on. It's kind of funny because usually when people add me on there, I send them a picture, and I'm like, "It's the woe behind the scenes," and it's like just me with the stupid headset on. It's like there's literally nothing exciting about it. But whatever. Wait, can you not see Crystal or Chief's messages? That's really weird. But this is my name on Snapchat. It's also my name in real life. So, there you go. If any of y'all wanted to know my name, or if you want to add me on Snapchat, feel free. I also have an Instagram account, but I'm pretty much never on it. And if you guys do want to follow me on Twitter at all, I have that linked on my channel banner if you're on like a laptop or anything like that. So ta-da! I even have a Patreon that no one knows about. But I don't know why the hell anyone would donate to me. That's probably why no one has. Because other people are probably thinking the same thing. Like, why the hell would I do that? And honestly, I'm right there with you. I guess I could get a better microphone or something, but... Wait, you can't find me on Snapchat? Really? Oh, Nikki, try it without the space in the middle. I may have done it without the space. What are you guys talking about over there? I was just talking about, how I had like a Patreon and all that, but no one really knows about it. And I was saying like, I don't know why anybody would donate to it. So I was basically just saying like the only thing that I would probably do with it is just maybe like buy a new microphone or something, like something better. I would totally do ASMR videos if you guys wanted that. Because I got plenty of junk in my room that I could scratch and gently blow on and make funny noises with. I'm being a little silly, of course, but you know what I mean. Oh, okay. Hold on, Nikki. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely you. Same name. Who's this other guy that added me by username? Yo, did another person on here added me? Okay, cool. I'll add you back. Cool. I was gonna say, like, I don't recognize that name. Okay. Oh, man. Why do I have 8 dislikes? I have 8 dislikes? What the heck? Is it 8 dislikes on this video? Hold on, I'm being a dork. I look funny right now. I really do. Oh, okay. So you're gonna message me on Snapchat. Okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm just messing around. There you go. There you go. There's your behind the scenes. Oh man. So how you guys doing? It's kinda early. Y'all doing good? Man, I have to get up at like 7:30 for getting ready for work. I'll probably get up at like 8 to be honest. Maybe 8:30. Oh, hey. I'm goofing around on Snapchat, I'm sorry. There you go, Chief Reese. I give you special behind the scenes. got that VIP pass, my dude. Crystal's already had the VIP pass for a while. She's been following me on Twitter. Lord knows my Twitter account is the least interesting Twitter account on Twitter. Because literally the only posts that I have say, I'm going live on PS4. And then it's just like the same thing every time. It's kind of funny. Oh boy. I don't even have a point to the stream anymore. I'm just chilling. Chilling like a villain. That reminds me, I wish I could sing. Being able to sing would be nice. Speaking of that, I was listening to Frank Sinatra quite a bit earlier. I actually really like listening to him. There's a song though by him that I really like and I can't remember the name. It's kind of bugging me. What, the music in the game or Frank Sinatra? Oh man. Yo, Crystal. This is not the best way to sound professional as a YouTuber, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that Molly is like stupid cute. And if she ever comes back and sees the stream, she's probably gonna smile about that. But I'm just saying, like, my girlfriend's kind of a little hottie. Just saying. Like I said, I put her as my wallpaper because it helps with like the long distance stuff. But sometimes I kind of see it and then get like kind of distracted. I know that's silly, but I'm just saying. Oh, what the heck? Dude, exactly. What happened to my charger cable, though? That's what I want to know. Because I was just charging something with it, and now it's not here. Oh, there it is. Well, that was quick. Oh, gosh. I think Nikki just, like, evaporated, though. Because I sent her basically the same picture that I sent you, Chief Reese. And then it's just, like, complete radio silence. It's like, alright. I guess I'm kind of scary. Oh, man. Yo, my back kind of hurts. I don't know why. I'm surprised you guys have stayed for like 2 hours on a video with the character just standing still. You guys are the best. Oh. Thanks for being sweet to me. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I still am talking to you, honestly. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I like just chilling with you guys. And you guys can ask me questions if y'all have anything that you're just curious about, like it could be about the channel or about me or whatever. Or even if you guys want to tell me a bit about yourselves. Just whatever. I'm just open to having a conversation with you guys. Y'all are part of my community here, so. And the thing is, unlike a lot of other YouTubers, I'm honestly just gonna tell you right now, I'm just like a normal dude. Like if I ever run into somebody subscribe to my channel one day and they recognize me, I'm just gonna be like, hey, what's up? You know? I'm not gonna be all weird about it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't have time for you. Like, oh, that's awesome. You know? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Crystal. I did see that I had a Twitter notification, but I didn't know what it was. So that was sweet. Thanks. You said you would blame your misspelling on your phone, but I'm using a PC. Nice. Good job. Oh, that was a video from Mr. Beast? Okay. So just quick confession time. I do watch Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is actually really cool. I enjoy his videos quite a bit. Actually, I don't know if you guys have ever been curious about this, but I could tell you some of the YouTubers that I watch, like, actively. Because I'm not only a YouTuber, I also am very, very active on YouTube. I am not one of those YouTube creators that doesn't watch. I watch a crap ton of YouTube, like probably more than it's healthy to. And I'd be glad to recommend some channels if you guys are interested. I mean, just don't leave mine, because I like having you guys here. Hey, you never know, Crystal. Somebody might. People are weird, okay? God, it's been like 12 hours since I sent that last message to Molly. And that is like the 8th message that I've sent her in like the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm just thinking, like, please don't be hurt. Please don't be in trouble. Please don't let anything happen to this relationship. Well, that's good. I appreciate you guys. Well, so some of the ones that I'm on most commonly, I'm gonna get the biggest one out of the way first. Biggest YouTuber on YouTube, PewDiePie. Of course I watch him. He's fantastic. To be honest, I always liked him. I thought some of his older stuff was a little bit fake, because you could kind of tell. You know, at first he was like really excited and enthusiastic about it and stuff, and you could kind of tell that he wasn't he didn't really mean it as much in some of the later stuff. Like when he played scary games and stuff, and he'd get real freaked out and yell and stuff. Like, I don't think he really meant all that. I think some of that was for show, but I think, to be honest, he's been pretty genuine throughout the years, and it's been really cool to see him transform from like a kind of a smaller channel to like, you know, what he is now with like 60 or 70 million subscribers or whatever. It's crazy. I think I subscribed to him like around the same time or a little bit before I started my channel. So it's been like 5 or 6 years or something that I've been following him, and it's been really cool. Even through all the controversies and stuff, I still really enjoy his content. There's also some other kind of smaller YouTubers that I really like. I watch a channel called Based Shaman a lot. I'm actually pretty active on his streams and stuff. I usually tune in on those. I tuned in today and yesterday. And then let's see, who else is there? Oh, I watch some of those like silly like Reddit commentating type videos and stuff like that. Like especially more recently, I've been watching like Soot House and Sorrow TV. And there's another one. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I know Wild Spartans is one of them. I don't watch them as much, but I just like kind of the banter between them as friends and stuff. It's very entertaining, especially Soot House. They're pretty funny. What the heck? Nikki said that I sounded Mexican. Like, what the heck? Sorry, I'll continue with more of them in a second. I'm reading a message here. I'm sorry. Okay. Wait, Crystal, you're saying you don't hear what? Oh, okay, so let me think of other ones that I'm like pretty active on. Let's see. I used to watch Mr. Freeze a lot. Oh yeah. No, I don't think I sound like Mexican or Hispanic or Latino at all. You know. I have kind of grown up around that culture though. to a degree. Because like half the population where I live is Hispanic, but I don't think it's really rubbed off on me at all. Maybe like a tiny bit, but maybe just on the way that I say certain things, but I don't know. I think honestly I sound a little bit more southern than anything. I mean, it just depends on like what I'm saying and how I say it, but still, like if I talk a bit faster, especially if I'm kind of tired or something, I start to sound more and more southern. It's kind of funny. I'm not super southern though. I didn't, at least not in like the stereotypical sense. You know, I didn't grow up around a bunch of rednecks or anything, but I was born in Texas and raised in Arkansas. And only other states I've been to are like Missouri and Oklahoma. Maybe like a couple others. The farthest one I've been to is actually California, but I didn't go to any of the states in between because I took a plane. You said you hear no southern in my voice? Yeah, I mean, I do sound a bit different in person though, and it depends on what I'm saying and how I say it. Like you will probably notice that I say y'all a lot. I'll say stuff like that, like little colloquialisms and stuff. And just kind of the way that I say certain words, like the way that I end them and start them and all that. Like drawing out the A in the word thing, even though there is no A. You know what I mean? Talking about things like that. It's kind of funny. But I will admit, dude, it is rare to hear. You're probably not gonna ever pick up on it, really. Let's see. What other channels do I actively watch? I'm trying to think. I do watch some of the stupid top 10 channels because, of course, I mean, why not? I used to watch a guy that did a lot of Elder Scrolls videos called, like Faz, like V-A-Z-Z. He has a really good playthrough of Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard that I thoroughly recommend. I mean, that would kind of make sense. I mean, I always figured I was just pretty generic white, but I mean, whatever. If you guys want to think that I'm like super mixed, that's cool. I may be, for all I know. Like ancestry-wise, I mean. Let's see. I do watch a few Dark Souls channels, like like on Starva and Oh, I definitely watch Vadi Vidya for all the lore stuff, and let's see, Lobos Jr. What's his name? What's his name? I'm trying to remember right now. Oh yeah, something of Stora. I can't remember right now. Let's see. I've watched Markiplier for a long time. I don't grow him up, or sorry, I don't watch him like as much now. Um, I actually do like Cinnamon Toast Kin's content more now that he's doing like kind of different types of videos. He's doing a lot more like reaction type stuff, which I kind of enjoy from him. Always never really felt like Cinnamon Toast Kin had like the best of the content when it came to the gaming stuff, and I just was kind of always hoping for something like that, like that he would do some kind of other content, and I think now that he is, it just feels better, if that makes sense. Like, it's more fun to watch, just with his personality type. Same with Karai. Like, I feel like Karai does a lot better with his story videos and with his long playthrough videos, especially when he's doing like indie or horror games. Those suit him really well. I also used to watch Press Hard to Continue a lot. Dodger. Back when she did Let's Plays, I actually really enjoyed those. I used to watch her Sherlock playthrough and some of her dating simulator game things. I think she's a really fun YouTuber, but she doesn't do that kind of content as much anymore, and so I don't really watch as much anymore. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Let's see. I kind of go in and out of different trends when uh, I'm on YouTube. Like, sometimes for maybe like a month or two, I'll really like one thing, and then the next month I'll really like something else, and really just depends. There's only a few certain YouTubers that have genuinely kept my attention for very long periods of time. And I think that's kind of the problem with like super niche channels, is they only provide you with one type of content. So if you don't feel like watching that kind of content right now, you're not there for the person, you're there for what they provide. So it doesn't really stick with you in the same way. You just kind of enjoy it and then you move on. But with channels, I'd like to think that mine might be one of them, but that are more diverse in what they offer, I guess. you know, you tend to focus more on the person than the type of content. So I'm kind of hoping to do that with my channel. Just, you know, provide a variety of stuff with which you can come and hang out with me and just have a good time, you know. Doesn't matter if I'm reading a book or playing a game or making a dumb little sketch video or just being a dork in the front of my garage or something, you know. Oh, that's crazy, Crystal. I'm subscribed to like 5,000 or 6,000 people, I think. Maybe more. I've been on YouTube a long time. There we go. You said you've had this channel for 4.5 years. Yeah, so that's a little bit less time than I've had mine. That's not bad. That's quite a while. How long have you been subscribed to mine, by the way? I'm not very good with time. I know it's been a long time. It's been more than a year, I think. I think it's probably been like a year and a half. Maybe a little bit longer. It may have been 2. But I know you're relatively OG as far as this channel goes, you know, so. Nobody is more OG on this channel than freaking Italian Mofo, though. Man, I miss Italian Mofo. I don't know where the heck that dude went. But I miss the heck out of him because he used to be on here all the time and he was really cool. And I know that he's still subscribed, I just never see him around, you know. Man, I can name so many of you guys off the top of my head. I remember Troll God. He used to watch the, I think he came in around the time, I think it was either a Hitman video or the Alien Isolation playthrough, where he showed up along with Serpent and Venomy, and they were all kind of chilling there together. And then we had another guy that was kind of a troll. I don't actually remember his name at the moment, because he was basically only a troll to me, because he didn't stay on the channel for a long time, you know. Okay, Crystal. That sucks. forget what I was talking about for a second there. What was I talking about, Crystal? I think I was talking about subscribers that I have. How awesome you are and such. Uh-huh. Alright, Crystal. You're awesome. There you go. I said it. You're welcome. It's good to have all you guys here, it really is. Oh man. Let's see. What's in here? Oh, I haven't done this in a while. I have no idea what he's talking about. Alright, let's see what's in here. I want to upgrade my whatchamacallit thing. The lance. But do I have the right materials for that? Huh. I kind of want the aqua horn, but I don't have the right materials. Weird. See, that would probably be the best, huh? Yeah, for sure. I want the aquahorn thing. So I gotta get the Jurototus thingy. Alright, let's do it. Oh gosh. Guys, I'm so tired. I don't know how I'm gonna go to work today, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Screw it. Alright, sorry. Tell them I have Ebola or something. You know, I've actually never called in sick. At least not to this job. I called in sick one time to my first job, which is the job I had before this. And I was actually, like, properly sick. I don't think I've ever called in sick when I wasn't sick. And I've only done it once when I was. Most days I'll just come to work anyway. Like, one day I literally wore gloves for like half the day. Because I knew that I was sick. Okay, so I need to go here, I guess. Oh man. Work, schmirk. I actually love my job. Nah, I don't know, Crystal. I don't think that's a good idea. Not for me personally, anyway. Sorry. You said you understand you have sleep problems, but you still need to make money, so... Oh, actually, today's payday. I forgot about that, so I can see how much I made on my check. And then I can make a video to you guys whining about how I didn't make enough. That'd be great. No, I'm kidding. I actually did. I did almost make two coworkers quit. If you guys want to hear that story, it's actually kind of interesting. Um, just a little bit of workplace drama. I literally had two employees almost quit over me. And it was in this last month, so basically, I'm not gonna say names or where I work or anything like that, but basically the two of them are like best friends or whatever, right? And one of them lives with the other one, and they kind of support her family. And I didn't really think about that at the time, but I remember during one of the previous paydays, she was kind of walking away, just kind of casually mentioned to whoever she was walking with how much her paycheck was. And I just kind of casually mentioned it to another coworker. I was like, "Yeah, I wish I was making that much, you know." It's like that's like double what I'm making. And then I talked to one of the kitchen guys. I was like, "Man, how much do you make? Maybe I should go and work back in the kitchen." And he showed me, and I was talking to him about it. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's like way more." And I guess somebody kind of went behind my back after that and like talked to one of the managers about how she shouldn't be getting paid that much or something in comparison to like the other servers, which I did not ask them to do and did not want. But anyway, I don't know who it was that said that, but we all just figured she was getting paid more because of a raise or something. But I guess turns out it was just like a misidentification of the job she was doing or something. Like she was getting paid for one job, but she was primarily doing the other one while clocked in as that one, so she was getting like a different type of pay. And I guess she was doing that to like help support her family and stuff. But see, nobody else knew that because it was kind of a secret, I guess. So basically what happened is, because of me mentioning that and somebody else talking to a manager about it, I guess they cut her pay down to what it would normally be. And she's having trouble supporting that on that. And I guess somebody told her that I like looked at her check or something. Was trying to start gossip about me, and so she thought it was my fault. So she came to me like super upset, um, thinking that I like messed her up and cost her all this pay and stuff. And like, it's basically like, yeah, no, I had no idea about any of this. I'm not the one that got you in trouble. And she still doesn't believe me, but I'm hoping that we can still like sort of be friends in the future once she kind of has become more accustomed to how things are, you know, when all that situation kind of winds down. But yeah, her friend almost quit with her because she was gonna quit, and they lived together, you know, so she got rides through her. So they almost lost two employees because somebody else got them in trouble, and they thought it was me. So I don't know. It's just been like a whole big mess. And I think now she has kind of a grudge against me over it. I can tell she's like trying to be nice, but I don't think she likes me very much. Oh man. What do you mean, Crystal? What's a rude thing to talk about? And what should she have kept her mouth shut about? I'm confused. Honestly, I should have never mentioned her pay or whatever. I only did because I overheard it. Was like, oh yeah. I was just kind of using it in reference to like how much I was making. Because other people had previously mentioned it, but never like an amount. I think I was the first one to mention an amount, because I was the only one to have heard it. So yeah, that was complicated. It definitely makes me seem like the bad guy, but I certainly wasn't the one. I'm pretty sure I would remember talking to a manager about something like that. Okay, no, it wasn't at all that way for me. Like I didn't really care about how much he got paid. I just cared about how much I got paid, and was kind of using it as like a reference point. Basically, kind of like a I wonder how she got there kind of thing, you know. I thought it was just like a couple raises or something. Little did I know it was something else entirely. Yeah, maybe. just texting for a sec. No, Crystal, so it didn't really work like that. Like, basically, she was working essentially 2 jobs, but only, like, only at one time, if that makes sense. So she was getting paid for one of the types of jobs plus tips because she was serving people, and so they tipped her like a normal server, but she wasn't getting paid server pay. She was getting paid like something a bit better, so she was getting that plus tips basically, and she was working probably a decent amount of hours, I would assume. So I think server pay is where I work like half minimum wage plus tips or something. And I think for her, because of the way that it was basically minimum wage plus tips. So it was actually a pretty good setup. And I didn't even know about it, nor did I want to mess it up. You know, she's trying to support a family like that, and this is the only job that she can get at the moment, and I'm all for that, you know. But I guess somebody else wasn't. So yeah, that's no bueno, you know. Because now the blame is on me, and it's no fun. So I'm just texting for a sec. Man, both of you guys went really quiet too. You guys must be doing something else, huh? Okay, you said a lady took your husband's spot because she found out he was making good money. If he kept to himself, he would still have that job. If people, something, something. Oh, you're on Facebook? Nice. Oh, man. Oh, this is a nice little stream. Guys, I've been streaming since like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And it's like 6 in the morning. So it's like 8 hours, I think. That's crazy. I used to stream for like 8 hours every day before I had a job. Whoa, what the heck? Yeah, that sucks, Crystal. I didn't know you were married, by the way. That's awesome. How old did you say you were? You say like 20? Oh wow, 29. Oh man, I didn't know we had old ladies in this channel. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Crystal. Don't beat me up. I know you could totally beat me up. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, right, Crystal. Nah, I'm just messing with you though. You seem really sweet. You're not really an old lady, don't worry. Ah. Here we go. You'd rather play in dirt. I like playing in dirt. I played in dirt a lot as a kid. I used to make like little stairs in the dirt and like little city looking things, and it was really cool. They didn't always turn out exactly how I wanted, but they're really cool. So where did that big monster go? I want to track him on my map. Okay. This way. Ah! Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This way. Gotcha. Jump down. Alright. You said you're doing it more for the love of flowers. I've planted flowers before. It's pretty fun. What's everyone's favorite fruit here? Just as a random question. Do you guys have a favorite fruit? Mine is pomegranate. Come on, kill him. Oh yeah, kiwi is fantastic. I love kiwi. Strawberry's really good too, but it's just too much of a generic pick. Like, who doesn't like strawberry? You know what I mean? It's actually more rare to find someone that doesn't. It's a little bit more rare to find a fellow pomegranate lover. But despite how high maintenance they are, I actually genuinely really like them. Unfortunately, I'm attracted to a lot of things that are high maintenance. At least to some degree.
Dang it. I keep doing big combos but missing him. Alright, he's running again. Gotta go catch him. Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Come on. God, how many times does this thing take? How long do I have to wail on you for? Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright, I have to follow him again, I'm sorry. I know I'm being quiet. But that's cool, Crystal. I don't think I've heard of very many people doing that when they're sick. I guess that makes you sort of unique. Where did it go? Did it just leave? What the heck? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, that's so lame. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. My room is so hot, it's miserable. Oh. I guess I could cool my room down by stepping out of it, but you never know. I'm kidding, by the way. Just making dumb jokes. Oh man. Well, rip stream, I guess. Said you had to put on a warmer shirt. It's cold in yours. That's funny. Oh man. So you're wearing a Cookie Monster shirt? That's kinda cool. Oh, I'm sorry, Crystal. Cookie Monster is your favorite? That's cool. Man, I am feeling a little bit sleepy. Which is funny because I've literally only got like an hour or two before I have to get ready for work. But whatever. The question is, should I do laundry now or should I wait and just do it tomorrow? I guess I could always just do some laundry. And then just like, I don't know. This will be the 4th day that me and Molly have not talked, and it's really, really freaking weird. I hate it. I really do. I had to go on a walk today just to kind of distract myself from thinking about her. Because when I'm pent up here in my room, that's all I do.
That's why I'm not interested in playing a lot of games right now. Because every time I play them for a while, my mind wanders off to it. And then I just can't focus on the game anymore, you know, I can't enjoy it. Yeah, I hope everything is okay. Right there with you. I sent her like 8 different messages on Snapchat over the like 4 days or whatever. It was like 3 messages a day for the first 2. Just because I thought she would respond like normal. And then 2 yesterday. So I don't know. But I hope that when she gets back from vacation, even if she does have her phone taken away, that she'll still have access to her PS4 or something, and she'll see the message I sent her on there. Because I sent her one on there, I sent her one on Skype, and I may end up sending her one on Twitter, just in case. But probably not. I don't want to go too overboard and make her think that I'm, like, obsessed, even though I kind of am, a little bit. She's, like, one of the only things that I, like, really, really, really care about. Yeah, no. Me and her are doing very good relationship-wise, actually. Everything has been really good. It's nothing like that. It's definitely something weird on her end. And I know she wouldn't just forget about me for that long either. You said could have forgotten our charger somewhere. It's happening to you. Yeah, it could be something like that. It could definitely be something like that, and I really hope that it is. I really hope that it is. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, I checked her Twitter account and all that, and she hasn't been active. So it's not like she's been on her phone or anything. So I can tell that she hasn't just been ignoring my messages. She just genuinely hasn't seen them. So it's really weird. It's like she entered into the Bermuda Triangle or something. It's like very, very strange. And the thing is, she's on vacation, so she has plenty of time to text, you know? Because she's off doing stuff, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of... it's like chilled out stuff, like going to the beach and then going back to the hotel or whatever it is and just chilling for a while and stuff like that. It's nothing like crazy. And she still has several days left or whatever, so the fact that she's just kind of up and disappeared is like really weirding me out. And I don't like it because she's too far away from me to know whether or not she's okay. That's true. Yeah, I don't know much about how strict your parents are. And I would tell you more about certain aspects of it, but I don't want to say them on stream just because, like, shoddy and all that, you know. But if you hit me up on Twitter or Snapchat or something, I can definitely tell you about it. But yeah, I'm worried that I'm worried that I maybe got her in trouble or something. And I really hope that that's not accurate. Because if I did, I'll feel really bad about that, and just the whole situation will be kind of awkward. Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. I don't think I've been overdoing it too much. I mean, I have a little bit just because I really miss her, and it feels really weird not having her here, but I haven't gone on some like freak out rant or anything. Like, it's fine. It's just been kind of weird. I've just been talking about it a lot, that's all. Just been kind of venting. Oh yeah, I know she probably does. In fact, I know she does. If we're being honest. And I don't know. I was saying, if anything happens to that connection, I'll be very, very sad.
Sorry, I know I'm really quiet. Snapchat knows me too well. It's really kind of creepy. Because there's a little heart next to her name. There's a little smile next to Kim's name. And then there's this one girl that kind of likes me, but I don't like her. And it's giving me kind of... It's got kind of like a little eyeball thing going on. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, I am getting tired. Oh, I totally understand. Oh yeah, that's true about media stalking people. That's like really true, actually. Especially stuff like Facebook and Google. It's just really, really weird how much they do that. Like, have you ever been searching Google and the search result comes up for something that you're talking about, like a private conversation? And you're like, wait a second,